he never thought in all his life that he would be required for a scene to stick his arm up a cow's ass. And that was real. He did.
Oh, yeah, it was real. One time I was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and I was there for a meeting. I got there a couple of days early, and I asked the girl at the rental car counter, well, is there anything exciting to do in Sioux Falls on a Sunday? She said, well, you could go to the zoo, which I did. And I actually while I was there, I watched while a deer gave birth to a fawn. It was really neat. It took about 15 minutes after it was born, it could stand up on its legs.
Wow.
But if you want to see a great, if you want to see a great series, I don't know if you've seen Schitt's Creek. Has everyone seen that?
Yes.
No.
We watched the whole series. I actually watched them just last year. I hadn't followed it. It's been going for 8 or 9 years, and then we never really watched it. Then we watched it as a series, and we just kept watching it and watching it. Wow, what a hilarious! That's very funny. Very.
Does it have canned laughter, Ron?
What's that?
Does it have canned laughter?
I don't.
Probably.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Did any of you see what we do in the dark? The vampire short from Canada.
Nope, didn't see that one.
If you look at the credits, it's amazing how many movies are made in Canada. It's just incredible.
Well, they don't pay the actors anything. If you look at the residuals that actors in Canada get versus actors down in the States, it's not even comparable. It's kind of pathetic.
I think it's actors all over the world, isn't it? British actors too?
Yes. I'm not quite sure why, whether it's the being that this is Labor Day, whether it's because of the unions or for some other reason.
There's the tax credit thing
there was a good documentary the other day on Gone with the Wind. It was called Making of a Legend, Gone with the Wind. It was a really good documentary about that. The critics when it was first came out said that, yeah, it was a pretty good movie, but there's no way that it could ever recover its $3 million that it cost. I think the ticket sales are now over 3 billion.
They had the documentary, but you won't find the movie anywhere.
Well, I watched the movie too the other day on TV and recorded on my PVR, of course.
Welcome everyone. If you're new here, please say hello. We are all ears. We're just sitting having a little chat until the meeting starts at 9 o'clock. So if you are new, I'm looking down and trying to see. I don't see any new faces, but if you are shy or bashful, we don't bite or anything, do we, Hewie? I don't think we're pretty easy.
We nibble a little bit, but we don't bite.
Depends on how well you put the teeth in this morning.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, just say hello. We are just sitting around having a chat and enjoying the long weekend. So we'll and then we'll be getting the show going at 9 o'clock as usual. We have
10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock,
or whatever o'clock you're
on the hour.
Isn't everybody on Pacific time?
Some of us are on real time.
Real time.
So, Ron, do you guys celebrate Memorial Day
We do.
in Canada?
Yes, it's a holiday today. Costco is closed.
Oh my God. Are you recovering?
Well, I changed my Costco day to Tuesday because of that. So I go Tuesday mornings. So
Well,
anyway.
Walmart here was open. I
Was it? Yeah,
No, I
no,
put my order in yesterday and picked it up at 8 o'clock this morning. So
yeah, yeah. So anyway, we'll have, yeah, so anyway, we'll have, yes, for sure, it's a holiday here. It's a big one because, as you know, I live on a little island off the coast of the west coast of Canada called Vancouver Island. Well, today, this weekend is the busiest weekend for ferry traffic. So if you want to get on or off the island, this is all the kids going to university. They're going one way and people coming back. It's just bad news. So if you want to get on or off the island, it's not so good. Carl, go ahead.
Okay,
Unmute
I'm
yourself.
unmuted.
There you go.
Hey, I tried to use any desk for unattended operation, and I watched a YouTube, video on how to do it. And I'm wondering, is it a case that you have to be a subscriber to use it for unattended?
You don't have to be a subscriber, but you do have to create a login ID and password for unattended access.
Well, I do have a login ID, and it was for my girlfriend's house, and we do use it remote, when she's there. But she was coming over to my place, which she is this weekend, and I thought I would try out using it unattended. And I went to set it up. Of course, I know her ID and my ID. It said what, 9-digit code or something. And of course, she's logged in. We have a desktop icon, and normally we just, if I want to connect to her, she's one of my, icons on the desktop. I just click on her, and then she says okay. But I watched the video, and there was a click on unattended, and it said something about, the settings, but that icon was not, it was grayed out. It wasn't able to open.
Hmm.
So I wondered, there is a paid subscription. It's $9.95 a month.
I do unattended access all the time. I don't pay them anything.
Well, that's good to know. I'll have to look into it further, Drew. Thank you.
But you need to, on the machine that's going to be remoted into, has to be set up with a not a computer user ID and password, but an AnyDesk user ID and password, so that you can log into it without having to have somebody there to accept the connection coming in.
Well, that's a good point. I don't remember. Is it a case, though, to do that unattended, Drew, she'd have to do it from her end first, and then, which is
You would need to, yeah, she would need to set it up for unattended access on her end before she leaves her house.
Yeah. Well, I try to simulate that and set up mine because I was home and I know her ID. Any pass ID, you get that. Well, I think it's a 9-digit or 9-digit code, three-digit numbers. And I tried to set it up as though I were going to want mine unattended.
Were you on her computer?
Pardon?
Were you on her computer?
No, I was going to do that, but I wanted to set up mine first as though I was going to her house. And I couldn't do it.
You have to set up the computer first, the one that is going to use the remote access. If that's not set up, then you can't sign into it.
No,
And that's
but Bob,
probably why it's grayed out.
Bob, I was doing the reverse to see if I could set mine up and then call her and have her connect to mine as an unattended computer. And I couldn't do that.
I don't think it's going to work that way, Carl. I think it has to be done the other way.
Well,
In the menu, if you run AnyDesk and you go into the upper right-hand corner where the menu is, there's an option called Set Password.
okay,
And
I'll look at that. I just follow the YouTube directions. You go to settings and then you go to some strange other pull down, and the pull down comes down, but then there's you log on unattended access. And then they show you what to do next to how to set up an unattended access computer. I mean, the goal is for her to access it when she's at my house, but I thought I would reverse the trial, you know, and see if she could access me. Yeah,
Right.
Try it. All right,
As long
I'll
as
look
she-
into it. I'll look into
Yeah.
it further.
I'll set it up for myself during the meeting and let you know in the chat.
Yeah, okay, I'll go check my AnyDesk contact. I'm trying to remember if I have a password for AnyDesk. I'm not sure if I do, but.
But in the menu, there's an option called set password.
Okay, well, the fact that you can do it is, you know, good information. Thank you.
I see Jim Gould is logged in. And Jim, are you logging in from England? They're of course holidaying, and I think they're in England. Jim, are you listening there? Have you got your ears on? Maybe he's they're traveling over in England. Wondered if they're back. I don't think they're back yet though. What do we got? About 52 people. All right. I wanted to get, we can do this now actually. So, because we got a bit of time, I have a poll and I want everyone to help me with. It's just one question. And the question, you'll see why I'm asking the question. And the question is, hope everyone can see this now. Do you have an iPhone? So if you don't have an iPhone, don't answer that. I just don't answer the poll. I just want to know how many people in our group here use iPhones. And so, because this, well, you'll see later on in the meeting why we'll talk about this, but this year, this of course, week is the big launch of the new iPhones. And it was, if you read my Saturday newsletter, it is now official that 52% of people in the United States use iPhones over Android phone. So I'm just wondering, on our group, is it 50-50? Like, I don't know how many people in our group use iPhones versus Android phones. So
How about if you use both, Ron?
Ron, I
you
always
get to
wondered
choose
why
one.
you-
You get to choose one, and that choose your dominant one.
I always wondered why you never did any presentations on Apple.
Well, and that's a very good question. And, you know, that's, well, first of all, because none of us use Apple phones. And that's the problem, is that we don't.
Oh, we do use Apple phones.
I don't, yeah. And I don't think Hewie and Bob don't either. So we, and most of the presentations we do are very generic, so that, you know, I'm trying to, but when we do talk to people, we do have to, realize that half the people will probably have iPhones, right?
Yes, we do. Thank you.
Yeah, so I want to recognize that, and of course now it's official. It used to always be about 48%. Now it's 52%. So it is the dominant phone in the United States.
Ron, Jim Gould is back. Looks like he's back.
Jim, are you there? Can you say hello? Are you phoning from England?
Oh, let's see. No, hi everybody. We're back from the UK. We got back on Friday night, and
okay.
we're on Long Beach Island, New Jersey. This is the bay, and behind me here you can see this is my view, and my buddy Jim is here, and my old time dive buddy. We had a great time over there. We saw all kinds of stuff. It's
Good.
never enough time. I said hi to Tracy and Phil for everyone, so that was nice, and we had a great time.
That's great.
That's
We'll
good.
be talking about it on our show if we ever do one again.
Hey, you better.
And I presume you might have taken a few pictures.
I expect you're probably right. We did, and there's a lot of neat stuff, a lot of good food. We had some great food over there, and it was just, good. We're leaving here tomorrow. We're headed down south. We're going to be headed down through the Blue Ridge Parkway and that area.
Gritty country.
take a couple of days to get down there, and then we'll be home for doctors and dentists and that stuff. You know.
There you go. Thanks, Jim. Drew, go ahead.
I have a question for anybody that might be using the OBS Studio to do recordings. I found a plugin called Source Record that enables you to save your webcam and your desktop out as two separate files. And I have the desktop saving as a separate file, but the webcam is not working right. And I was wondering if somebody had tried that.
I use
have-
OBS for recording, but I have not tried that. I'm sorry, I had no experience.
Sorry. Now there's really good online support for it. So I'm sure, Drew, there's lots of, that question can certainly be answered, right? I mean,
Well, I've answered the question in terms of how to do it. I've downloaded the plugin and installed it, and it does create a separate video file for what is the desktop recording and a separate file for the webcam recording. Only the webcam recording is not actually the webcam. It's just a flat picture of the desktop. And the desktop recording portion works fine.
hmm,
So I'm wondering if it might be a bug in the new release.
Sounds like you don't have anybody here with the expertise and haven't tried that particular function.
Correct.
There's only certain of us who do any kind of recording anyway, and if we don't use OBS, Chris does, I know that. I mean, Jim does, but the part you're talking about, he hasn't tried, so. Who knows? He might just go ahead and start doing that because you asked the question.
Well, it can do the nice thing about the source record is by default, the program only allows you to record your webcam in one location on the screen before you start the recording. And if you use the source record, your video camera can be a separate video file. So you can, in post-production, have your camera be anywhere you want it to be on the screen. Wow, lots of people have iPhones.
half. Oh, just, yeah, we have, if we've got, well, we've just got 60 people. We've got just under half, but that's, yeah, that's interesting, eh? Well, we'll talk a little bit about that today. So, cool.
Drew, you had an answer for somebody last week and we didn't know who it was.
Oh, yes. Somebody had a question and I don't even remember what it is anymore, but if you're here and you have that question, ask me again.
But they asked you specifically, correct?
Yes,
I think it was Joel S.
it might have been.
So how long ago was that they asked it? A year ago?
It was 1
most
week
of us-
ago.
Most of
Last
us
week.
can't even remember yesterday.
Last week.
It was just last week. So if there's a Joel that pops on, let me know.
There is one on there today, and he's got his last name too, so. Joel Sandberg. Joel, you're there. Was it you would ask?
Believe I'm on,
Okay, you are.
and I remember asking Drew a question, but I asked Ron a question, and I'm not sure who the best person is. I was attempting to look at Tech for Senior Facebook, but I do not have a Facebook account of any nature.
Don't need one.
When I try to follow Ron's lead and view it as a web page, it immediately pops up and asks me to log in.
Just say no. Just say no. Joel, I sent you an email back on that with the link and everything like that. So I
did. When I
Yeah.
go to that link, I
Right.
get a request to log in. In fact, I sent you back a screenshot.
Okay, yeah, just say no. Just don't log in. And you can see it. The web page, it is just a web page and you don't need to log in. They
I
want you to
will try
log in,
again.
but just say no. And you can still view the web page.
I did not notice the option to say no. I will now go back and look for it.
There you go. Yeah, we get that question all the time, and you don't need, they want you to log in, they want you.
Understood.
Yeah, they'll say that, please log in. Just say no, don't want to do that. And you'll be able to see the website.
If there is not a no response available, there might just be the X up on top to close that.
Yeah, just close that. That's right.
I will try.
Yeah, you should be okay with that. That's a common question we get. And it's and that is exactly the point of having a Facebook page, is it's just a website. It's just a website. All right, we have 2 more minutes and then we start the meeting. All quiet. All right. Well, I'm going to mute everyone. And we'll share the screen. Good morning. I'm Ron Brown. I'm your host today. This is Tech for Senior. It is September 5th, and it is episode 128. Wow. If you are watching, thank you for coming. If you're watching this on a YouTube replay, that's great. And if you are watching this as a YouTube short, just click the description and it will take you right to the show. In the show today, we have lots of information for you. We're going to start out with our security update. Then Bob's going to talk on vishing. What is vishing? I'm going to talk a little bit about Google Pay and Google Wallet. Hewie's going to talk on website of the week, and he's going to talk about streaming services and how to choose one. Ray's away, but he sent his music segment, and we'll be doing that, as well as our popular question and answer. So we will get on. We have a busy show for you today. Lots of happenings and lots of things going on. And also don't forget, we have our Thursday show, which occurs on Thursday. This is very popular now, and it's where we review the news of the week. And so the usual gang gets together and we sit around and have a nice chat. But remember, our Thursday show is not a Zoom meeting. So those of you who do log in on a regular basis on Monday, don't log in and try and get our meeting on Thursday through the Zoom meeting link. Yeah, we broadcast that out to our Facebook page and to our YouTube channel. It's not a Zoom meeting. Now, we do podcast it if you miss it and you want to listen to it again. We do podcast this out on Friday. It usually is available. As with all our shows and all our vast library now, these are all online and available free of charge for you to use. And again, we encourage you to do so. Today we have in our YouTube Premium service, which of course is where we choose 3 selections that will be come on at 1/2 the hour. The 3 selections this week are Hewie's going to talk on QR codes. I'm going to talk on sleep trackers. Do they really work, and how do they work on watches? And Bob's going to talk about the difference between a firewall and a VPN. You know the difference, and Bob's going to tell us all about that. And that will occur at 1:30 after our meeting's finished. And I will be putting the link in the chat, as well as I sent that out on our Saturday newsletter. So that's so we have a busy show for you today. Bill James will be joining us a bit later. He's multi-committed this morning, and as I said, we have Ray's away down in Phoenix, where it's probably pretty hot down there this morning. Let me introduce everybody. Hewie, how the heck are you doing?
I'm here, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Been up since early morning. In fact, I was up most of the night. I didn't sleep well, but I'm here. If I doze off, just kind of holler one time, Hewie, and I'll wake up.
Right. Do you have a Wednesday you've got Stug this week?
Wednesday we have our Stug meeting, and Drew King is going to be our speaker, and he's going to be talking about Windows 10 and Windows 11.
I hear
you
he's a
do
good
have to be
speaker.
registered for it,
Right.
and let me know, and I'll give you the link if you don't have it anywhere. If you're a member of my WinSig and you're part of the newsletter, it already went out, and it has the link for you to sign up as well. If you're already signed up for the meeting, you don't have to sign up again. And I'll be sending reminders out to those who are signed up.
I hear Drew's an excellent speaker, so it should be a great evening.
Yeah, he knows more about Windows than I do, so I learn a lot from him.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah, he is.
Very good. Excellent. So that should be good. Any other activities this week you got planned?
Well, I got of course, I got the WinSig coming up on the second Sunday of the month, and I'm just surprised we've got so many people here today. It's great to see everybody, and I'm glad you're postponing your activities of the day until after our show.
Yes. If you don't know, it's my birthday today. So
yeah. Well, of course, we're all going to celebrate that later on today.
yes, indeed. You're all invited over to a party at my house. So if you want to come, everyone is invited.
If you can get on the ferry, right?
That's right. That's exactly right. Bob, how the heck are you doing?
That's fine. Just another Monday.
Just another
Flag
Monday.
is flying. Flag is flying. It's a holiday, but it's just another Monday.
Just another Monday. There you go. And Mike Ungerman. Mike, are you just sitting there making money with your solar panels?
I'm saving money. I'm not making
saving money. All right. We look forward. Mike was telling me earlier he's got one more session we're going to do on solar panels before we move into EV vehicles. So we look forward to that probably about the end of the month, eh, Mike?
Yes.
There you go. So this week is the, well, first of all, it's now official. It is totally official. It is the big news of the week. It was in the Saturday newsletter. Apple is now the dominant cell phone in the United States. It went along for a long time. It was 48%. So Android held the lead at 52%, but that's not so now. It is now moved, and 52% of the people in the United States use an iPhone, which is pretty amazing. And according to our poll today, as you saw, they're just under 50% of our users at Tech for Senior use very interesting. This is very interesting. Of course, I'll probably talk a bit about that iPhone event this week. And you'll find that the iPhone, what is it? What version is it? 17? It's the Apple Watch 8 will be out, and the latest series of iPhones will be out, and they'll all be marketed this week, which is pretty impressive, and it will be interesting to see all the new features and everything that's happening. And it's sort of today is a little bit different because the talk I did today is on Google Pay and Google Wallet. And if you look at the electronic transactions in the United States and look at the market share, you'll see that Apple holds it at 92% of all electronic transactions used on phones, portable devices. Apple has the market captivated, and Google is a distant third at 3%. And it was interesting when I did my talk today is how much confusion there is about Apple Pay and Google Pay. And well, I did not put this in the video I made, but not as all is well at Google. Now, we all think Google's doing, and certainly divisions in Google are doing well, such as YouTube, and certainly the Chrome and the Chrome browser is doing well, and also the Chromebooks are doing well, but certainly not so good at in the Google Pay, Google Wallet division, because there's been a number of, I guess, leads in that department that have left, and most recently the fellow that was involved in the new app being released in the United States left just recently, and they haven't even been able to fill the position. So Apple is certainly, I just smile and I look at Apple, and they're just going ahead and releasing just some incredible products, and they have captivated the market, particularly in online payments, to 93%. So we'll be talking about that today in my segment. But I look forward to seeing what happens this week, and we'll probably be talking about that on Thursday. Bob, are you ready to roll?
I am getting ready to roll, just waiting for you to finish your part.
I have now blabbed along for my 10 minutes.
Okay, then here comes my part. Whoops.
Cool intro.
Let's start that with a big one. I wonder who helped put this together. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending September 2nd, 2022. Sephora to pay $1.2 million for secretly selling sensitive consumer data. Cosmetic giant was fined $1.2 million for failing to inform customers about selling their data. Under the settlement announced by California Attorney General Rob Bonta, Sephora agreed to pay $1.2 million in penalties and comply with requirements such as providing mechanisms for consumers to opt out of the sale of personal information. Technologies like the global privacy control are a game changer for consumers looking to exercise their data privacy rights. But these rights are meaningless if businesses hide how they are using their customers' data and ignoring requests to opt out of its sale. Rob Bontana said, in Sephora's case, third parties could see whether a consumer is using a MacBook or a Dell, whether they are using prenatal vitamins, what eyeliner brand they prefer, and even their precise location. Read more at Cyber News. TikTok Android app vulnerability could lead to one-click account hijacking. Microsoft discovered a high-severity vulnerability in the TikTok Android application, which could have allowed attackers to compromise users' accounts with a single click. The vulnerability, which would have required several issues to be chained together to exploit, has been fixed, and we did not locate any evidence of in-the-wild exploitation. Attackers could have leveraged the vulnerability to hijack an account without users' awareness, if a targeted user simply clicked a specially crafted link. Attackers could have then accessed and modified users' TikTok profiles and sensitive information, such as by publicizing private videos, sending messages, and uploading videos on behalf of the user. For details, see the report by Microsoft 365 Defender Research Team. French tax office uses AI to find swimming pools. Using an AI computer vision system in conjunction with Google's cloud processing, the French tax office has identified 20,356 residential swimming pools that had previously gone undeclared. As a result, the tax office was able to bring in an additional 10 million euros in tax revenue. The AI software recognizes pools and aerial photographs and compares them to records in real estate and tax databases. The program has only been in the test phase so far, but the tax office plans to roll it out nationwide soon. It is expected to result in an additional 40 million euros in tax revenue. I wonder if this is a precursor to what we can expect in this country once the 87,000 new tax agents start to work for the IRS. For more on this story, see Ars Technica. Here's an update on the LastPass hack. The company reported that the intruder took portions of source code and some proprietary LastPass technical information, but there was no evidence that any customer data or the encrypted password vaults were compromised. Our products and services are operating normally, the company wrote. Investigation into the incident is ongoing, and the company says it has engaged a leading cybersecurity and forensics firm to help. Drummond Reed, Director, Digital Trust Services at Avast, says LastPass is correct that what they call their zero-knowledge architecture, where LastPass does not know and cannot access a customer's master password, which is needed to unlock their encrypted vault, is what keeps it safe from most, but not all, internal breaches. Using a password manager is still about 10 times better security than any other option. So this breach should not deter anyone who has a password manager from using it, or anyone who doesn't have a password manager from getting one. See ZDNet for more. Cryptojacker hides in legit apps. Researchers have discovered a cryptojacking malware that is planted in legitimate apps and avoids detection by stealthy launching its attack in stages. Turkish-speaking software developer NitroCod, which boasts 500,000 installs on its website, seems to be behind the campaign. NitroCod claims to develop a host of free apps that include video and music converters, video downloaders, and music players. The multi-stage attack stretches out over weeks before the cryptojacking payload is deployed. Some of NitroCod's Trojanized apps can be found on download sites like Softpedia and Up2Down. To learn more, see my breaking security news flash on this topic. Just follow the link listed. Facebook's gaming app shutting down. Meta is closing down its Facebook gaming app on October 28th this year, just 2 years after it was launched. You'll still be able to find your games, streamers, and groups when you visit Gaming in the Facebook app, the company wrote in a tweet. Facebook did not provide the reason it is shutting down the gaming app, but the platform does rank third in popularity after Twitch and YouTube. We want to extend our heartfelt thanks to all of you for everything you have done to build a thriving community for gamers and fans since the app first launched, the tweet read. See more at The Verge. Agenda ransomware is customizable. A new customizable ransomware strain known as Agenda has been spotted in the wild targeting healthcare and education entities in Indonesia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, and Thailand. The strain was written in Golang, and it can reboot systems in safe mode. It is said to provide attackers with options to tailor the payloads for each victim, as well as customize the ransom note, the encryption extension, and the list of processes targeted to terminate before commencing the encryption process. Ransom demands have varied, but the range has been between 50,000 and 800,000. For more on this story, see the Hacker News. This week's must-read on the Avast blog. There's a common conception that most millennials are super tech savvy, and while that's at least partially true, it also means that they've likely spent the most time online in more capacities. Read up on why millennials are the most likely to fall for online scams and what to do about it. Read the article at the link listed. It's been a pretty big week for hackers. Both Plex and LastPass were hit by a data breach, and security researchers uncovered a phishing campaign with over 130 corporate targets. Now, Samsung is notifying customers of its own data breach, which exposed customers' names, addresses, and other personal information. This data breach only impacts U.S. customers. It almost sounds like that's not a big deal to Samsung, but it certainly is to anyone living in the U.S. that's been affected. Samsung says that hackers did not access Social Security or payment information, and that the vulnerability leading to this breach is resolved. The company is working with law enforcement and cybersecurity firms to further investigate the issue. This is directly from the Samsung site. We want to assure our customers that the issue did not impact Social Security numbers or credit and debit card numbers, but in some cases may have affected information such as name, contact and demographic information, date of birth, and product registration information. The information affected for each relevant customer may vary. You'll find their notice about the incident at the link listed. Hackers apparently got their hands on identifiable personal information such as names and birth dates. Samsung also mentioned that demographic information was exposed. This likely refers to advertising or marketing data, which can include thousands of variables, including occupation, gender, income, race, or location. Read the whole story at Review Geek at the link listed. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bob. We're going to do the vishing one.
Oh, I'm sorry. My mistake on my end. What is vishing and how do I protect myself against it? Vishing is a technique used by hackers to dupe unsuspecting victims through a voice call or voicemail. To conduct the attack, the scammers call you and misrepresent themselves. They try to fool you into sharing your credit card number, government IDs, and other sensitive information. Vishing versus phishing. What's the difference? Indeed, vishing may be considered a type of phishing. Phishing attacks center solely on the use of voice to scam others. Phishing itself is actually a catch-all term for a range of attacks that aim at stealing sensitive information. Phishing scams can use a variety of things, including voice, text messages, fake emails, websites, and more. There are also some other phishing scams out there that you should know about. Spear phishing, when a scammer targets a specific individual or organization. Smishing is a term used when scammers use text messages to target you. Whaling is scam whereby attackers target celebrities, politicians, or other well-known individuals to blackmail them. Regardless of the type of attack in question, phishing and vishing scams all have the same goal in mind. That's to steal your information. My thanks go to Grace Mache for her excellent article on this topic. Please read her entire article at the link listed. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Good information. Good information. Thanks, Bob. All right, let's talk about what I was talking about earlier, Google Wallet. Well, you may have had Google Pay and now you have Google Wallet. But then again, you may have had Google Wallet, gone to Google Pay, and now have Google Wallet back again. Are you confused? Well, Google's confused. The credit card companies are confused. So let's watch this video where I try to make sense of this. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior, where we make videos to help explain technology. We have over 700 videos on our YouTube channel, and they are all royalty free for you to use. All we ask is that you give us that little like, and if you would like to be informed when we create new videos, just click that subscribe and we'll send you a notification. Now let's get on with Google Wallet. Mobile transactions is a multi-billion-dollar business. Google is running a distant last. Apple is captivating this at 92% of all mobile transactions, followed by Samsung at 5% and Google at 3%. A lot of this, I feel, is because of confusion on how Google Pay and Google Wallet works. So let me try and explain that today in this video. Since 2011, Google has had Google Wallet and then Google Pay. And it had different versions of this in different countries. And this has become very confusing as it's changed over the past years. Primarily, Google Pay is a service linking your electronic device to a credit card. This allows a secure transaction to occur through your existing credit card without any identification of personal data. Google Wallet is really a storage area for your loyalty cards, gift cards, secure card payments. As this has progressed over the past 10, 15 years, it is different in different countries. And this is all being made more confusing by the recent changes at Google and no real clear leadership on a path they want to take. So let me try and make sense of this as we move ahead. So the relationship between Google Wallet and Google Pay depends on what country you're in 2022. For example, in Canada now, Google Pay is being replaced by Google Wallet. And if you had Google Pay on your phone, you will now notice that it just turned into Google Wallet. This depends, it's different in the United States where you both have Google Wallet and Google Pay still. So it really is country specific, and you'll have to sort that out depending on which country you live in. But at present in Canada and many countries around the world, Google Wallet now encompasses Google Pay. So Google Pay and Google Wallet are the same thing, but it's being branded with the Google Wallet symbol. So I take my credit card and I go and I tap and pay, but I don't hit the right area to tap. Darn it, it won't work. If my credit card's been sitting in my wallet for over a year, well, it sometimes doesn't work either. And I have to keep tapping and tapping on the stupid machine, and it doesn't work. I am so happy that I now have Google Pay, well, actually Google Wallet, on my phone. So I now can just take my cell phone and I just bring it up within an inch of the machine and bingo, it works. Different technology than tap and pay with your card, because you're not tapping and paying with your phone. It's using NFC, near field communication, which is just a proximity. You just bring this within probably about an inch of the machine and bingo, the transaction is complete. Not only is the transaction complete, but it is a secure transaction, and your personal information such as credit card name and number is not given to the vendor. So this adds a big level of security. I'm amazed as I've been going around the last month watching how many people are actually using their phone for a transaction. I'm also using my watch. That is even better when you can use your watch for this, because I don't have to get my phone out. So what I've just described is a payment service you can use, and most people, 92%, are using Apple Pay, but of course there's Samsung Pay and Google Pay. Google Wallet is more encompassing and of course involves not only storing all your loyalty cards, your passports, your driver's license, your vaccination cards, but also Google wants it to be a secure financial service that you can use to send money to peer-to-peer or to send it to different banks or different countries. So this is going to grow as Google adds more services to the Google Wallet. Who can use Google Wallet? I'm going to look at 3 devices. I'm going to look at a PC, I'm going to look at a mobile device, and then I'm going to look at a watch. So let's start with the mobile device. So Google Wallet can be used on any Android phone. This means it's available on all Android, including Samsung phones. This is different than Samsung Pay, which of course can only be used on a Samsung phone. Google Wallet can also be used on an iPhone, but not for credit card purchases. You can use it for peer-to-peer transactions with other Google accounts, but not credit card services. When we look at smartwatches, things get a little more tricky. And currently there are 7 smartwatches that allow Google Wallet to be used, and I'll put that list below. So the first question I always get is, what about the Fitbit Sense? That's a watch I always talk about. It's made by Google. Isn't Google Wallet available? Well, no, it's not. In fact, you have to use Fitbit Pay. Fitbit Pay is very limiting, and in Canada, none of the credit cards for major banks will really work on it. It's very limited in its scope, a little more available in the United States. But Google Wallet is not available on the Fitbit Sense. But of course, the Galaxy Watch 4 made by Samsung, it is available and will work on the Galaxy Watch 4. It is not available on the Apple Watch. Now the Fitbit 2 Sense has been announced, and Google says that Google Wallet will be available for the Fitbit Sense 2 at some time in the future, but not at time of release. So if you're planning that as a purchase, I would hold off until they actually get the software developed. The new watch coming out this fall, of course, will be the Pixel Watch. And of course, rumor has it that the Google Wallet will be available on the Pixel Watch. Yay, that'll be great. So let's look at a PC. So Google Wallet, or the storage center, is not really available on a PC. But when I talk about a PC, it could be Linux, it could be Apple, or it could be a Windows PC. Anywhere where Chrome is being used and you have a Google account, you have the ability to use Google Pay. Now, it's a little bit different on a PC, because what actually happens is you go to your Google account, and in the payment center of your Google account, you can enter your credit card numbers. Within the Chrome browser, you then have the ability to autofill your credit card information in an online transaction. So in summary, it's not an app, and you would actually set this up through the Google Payment Center within your Google account, and then use the autofill feature in Google Chrome. So there's going to be incredible growth in the financial services that Google has to offer over the next few years. I would really encourage you to use Google Pay or Google Wallet, whichever country you're in, on your smartphone, or better yet, your watch. It's great. So let's watch carefully as the competition heats up, as PayPal, your own banks, Google Wallet, Google Pay, Apple Pay all compete for the big financial market in electronic transactions. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. I hope this video has helped clarify Google Pay and Google Wallet. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Until we see you again, have a great day. All right. Probably we'll have lots of questions about that in the Q&A. Hewie, are you awake? Are you still with us?
I am with us.
Are you?
Tech for Seniors present the website of the week with Hewie Poplock.
Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Website of the week number 14. Selecting a streaming service, Suppose.tv. I'm Hewie Poplock. You're thinking about or have decided to fire your cable TV service and go to streaming services. You will need either a smart TV or a streaming device. To help decide what service or services we want to use for our streaming, I'm going to demonstrate Suppose.tv. This is Suppose.tv. Suppose compares billions of combinations of TV services and finds the best for you. So to begin with, you need to update your location and select your favorite channels. So what we're going to do is come up here on the left-hand side and change the TV area. You can enter an address, a city, or zip, or use the current location. I am going to say Bradenton. You'll see that it lists some things here. I'm just going to say Bradenton, Florida. And it selected Tampa Bay area. I need to select the channels that I wish to have. What you want to do is get all of the people that are in your household and make a list of channels that they must have. And one of the things we want is the ABC station for sure. Not that one. We want to come down here and show more, and we want to do the WWSB, which is the Sarasota ABC station. So we want to include that. So, and it puts it over here. Another one that we want to have is something called Reels. By typing in a few letters, you'll get the choices. We're going to choose Reels channel. So that's now added it over here. Let's say we also want to have the A&E channel, and it shows up under Entertainment. We'll add that to our list. We want to have National Geographic, and we'll go ahead and choose that. And we want the Weather Channel. Now, there are several weather channels that we can choose from, but we want the Weather Channel. And let's go ahead and choose TCM, Turner Channel Movies. Choose the FX channel, and we'll choose that. We now have all of these. Now, if we want to add more, that we can go to each one of these topics, like information, and we can show more, and you'll see a number of channels that are available, or you can show less, Under lifestyle, if you click here, you're going to see that there's all kinds of lifestyle channels available. And under sports and movies and comedy, music, Spanish, specialty, and shopping, and there's a complete list there. So if you aren't sure which ones you want to have, you can go in and pick and choose. We need to prioritize what we want. So in other words, which ones are the most important? Well, ABC would be the first, and the reels would be the second, because that's important to me. A&E is probably not as much, but let's say I like the FX channel. I can just move it up here, and I can say I want the National Geographic next, and then A&E, and then in this. So I would want them in this order. In this area, it shows the top 30 of combinations that it evaluates. So you'll see here, it shows which channels are available from that choice. And in this case, they're saying the DirecTV stream, the entertainment choice, and the friendly basic. And combined, it would be $82.58 a month. Or you could say, if I don't want the ABC channel, I can get it using an antenna. So I don't really need to get something that has that. For $47.99 or $48 a month, I can get Sling Blue and get all of the other channels that I wanted, plus 76 more channels. And if I click this, it will actually show me all of the channels that I would get if I made that choice. Or I could go a DirecTV stream entertainment. I just wouldn't get the weather channel. Sling Blue, I wouldn't get the weather channel. And if I chose this one, DirecTV Stream Choice, which would be $97.19, that one would have 109 more channels. So I would get more channels, but it would include all the ones I want. You can also refine by saying get more or save more. So if we want to get more channels, we can move this a little bit. It'll change the order in which we get these choices. Let's say that I want 1+ simultaneous streams. Let's say I need 2. I've got 2 TVs and I want this on 2 TVs. Well, not all the services allow you to do that. Okay, I've got 3 TVs. Which is going to be my best choice? And you'll see here, there are a number of pages that are available. So you can go to the next page and the next page. So you can see the various choices that you have available for you. And let's say you also want a DVR, a digital video recording. So if you slide that to the right, it will show you which of your choices has a DVR. We need it on 3 TVs. We want a DVR and get more. So now our choices are, number 1 is the DirecTV stream choice, and we would get everything we want. Or we could also get the DirecTV stream entertainment plus the friendly, and that would be less money. So that might be a better choice for us. If we don't care about the weather channel, we could then get the DirecTV stream entertainment without the friendly premium. Or we could go to the YouTube TV plus Philo, and that would run us $92.99 or $93, and a lot more channels. There are some YouTube TV offers. There's a Philo offer, a free trial, 3 device offers for a Roku Ultra, an Apple TV 4K, or a Fire TV Recast. So you might want to consider a different device as well. We decide, well, we don't care about the TCM. We can take that off, and we can take the weather channel off. Or we can say exclude it from the search. Or we can say this is a must-have. So if you want to say this is a must-have and this is a must-have, it will limit your choices. One of the items that makes streaming the most expensive is choosing sports channels. So let's pick a few and see how they fit into what we're doing. And we'll show more. And let's go ahead and choose the Golf Channel. Let's choose ESPN College Extra, Fox Soccer Plus, MLB or Major League Baseball Network, and motorsports. So we've chosen some sports channels. You'll see that some are not picked up on some services and some are. Let's take a look. We're not seeing the ABC. Let's say that we want that to be a must. So we'll click a heart on that. So that does change our outlook. It looks like it's recommending Hulu plus a few others, but not all of the channels are listed there. So let's go to the next page and see where they may be. So we've got a few more here, the soccer and the Major League Baseball. It looks like the ESPN College may only be on some of the dish or satellite networks. I don't see that listed with any of them, but you can see that we're up to $103 here, $113. So it gets a little bit more expensive, and as we go up, so here is the ESPN, Hulu, Live TV Unlimited screens, Philo 60 channels plus more at $107. Hulu Unlimited screens, Philo, and Sling World Sports at $117. And let's go to the next page. Let's see where we're coming up here. We're not getting many of those sports channels. They're intermixed, so it's going to be difficult to get as many as we can, but it looks like Hulu and maybe some others. We'd have to choose what we want. It looks like this is our best choice, which would be YouTube, YouTube TV, Philo 60 channels, and Sling World Sports at about $114 to get those choices. Now, if we start adding in some other, prioritize some more channels, we may get some different results. Let's try one more scenario. We only want the local channels. So we want the ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC out of Tampa, and we want the ABC channel out of Sarasota. So we have several choices here. We're definitely not going to do Dish. So there's two choices for Dish here. But otherwise, we're looking at Hulu, DirecTV Stream, and if we go to the next page, we're also looking at Fubo. So let's go back to the first screen. Let's say we're going to consider Hulu. Well, if we come down here, we can see 85 more channels. And what we can do is we can scroll down here and see if this fits most of what we're looking for. So there's 85 channels there. And let's say we're also considering YouTube TV, which has 103 more channels. And we can see those, all of the channels that are available there. We can take a look and say, yes, that's going to fulfill our needs and what we want. So we have the choice at this point of YouTube TV at $65 and Hulu at $70. Then what we want to look at is, what about simultaneous stream? So we want to have at least two. So we're okay there with two streams. So either one of those would work. And let's say we also want a DVR. And it looks like both of those have DVRs as well. We could choose either Hulu Live TV or YouTube TV as our choice. To help us decide which service we want to use for streaming when we cut the cord, a good choice to help us is Suppose.tv. I'm Hewie Poplock, and this is Website of the Week. There you go.
Huey, that's great. That is, you could never do that if you tried to figure that out yourself.
Even this gets confusing, but yeah, to try to figure out, but you really need to prioritize with all the members of your family which channels you need to have, which ones you want to have, and which ones you'd like to have. Put them in order, and then try to figure out which services combined will give you what you need.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, wonderful. Bob, did you get my message? Are you ready to roll? it's yeah, I'm sure there'll be some questions in the chat about that, but that's a really good one.
There is no narration to this because this is supposed to be used as a background in your Zoom or whatever other streaming service you happen to be using. All you have to do is download it and let it run.
That's pretty cool. It just runs in the background of Zoom.
Yeah,
looks like
and
the
it,
set from Back to the Future.
yep. And if you have it as a background, it just loops. It just keeps right on going.
Yeah, you are a little loopy sometimes.
Yes.
There we go. All right. Excellent. Thanks, Bob. Now we, through the magic of the internet and recording and all the usual stuff we do, we're going to play Ray's segment, even though Ray isn't here. So let's see what he has to say today.
America's Got Talent, Chapel Hart. Most of us know today is Labor Day in the US, as well as Labor Day in Canada. In the US, the first Monday in September has been a federal holiday going back to 1894. No matter what kind of profession we labored at, it was always nice to have a 3-day weekend that many consider the unofficial end of summer. It's also the beginning of the school year, football season, the US Open tennis tournament, and a variety of race car events. These are American traditions that we take pride in. So I began searching for a song that would be appropriate today. And thanks to my wife, Carol, I discovered Chapel Hart. Now, Chapel Hart is an American country music vocal group from the small town of Poplarville, Mississippi. The trio are two sisters whose last name is Hart and a cousin, but the name Chapel Hart comes from a church in their hometown. They began singing together in 2014, busking on the streets of New Orleans. Busking is a term that goes back to the 17th century with an original meaning for any musical performance in a public place. But in more recent times, it's associated with street singers, specifically with those who perform publicly, hoping to garner donations from those passing by. By 2020, they had a manager and released a single titled Jesus and Alcohol, which featured ZZ Top member Billy Gibbons, these are the guys with the long beards, on guitar. In 2021, Chapel Hart was inducted into CMT's Next Women of Country, the institution that has been known to help up-and-coming female country artists. The same year, a follow-up single titled You Can Have 'Em Jolene was released, which was an answer song to Dolly Parton's mega hit, Jolene. What a fun new take on my song was how Dolly Parton herself responded when hearing the song for the very first time. They used this song to audition for the NBC show America's Got Talent and have now advanced all the way to the finals, which will air later this month. Because the women are African American, more than once they have been asked why they chose country music. Their priceless response was, "You don't really choose country music. It was how we grew up and who we are." So celebrating today's North American holiday, I give you Chapel Hart performing American Pride. While I love the vocal harmony of these young ladies, more importantly are the lyrics of this song, which have such a positive meaning in the times we live in today.
So just before I play the video, I'm going to say goodbye to our YouTube feed. So thank you for those of you who are over on YouTube listening. If you want to pop over and participate in the Q&A, we have lots of space over here for you. I put don't forget our premiere service that'll begin in 1:30. I have put a link in the chat for the link to the video, and of course it's in our Saturday newsletter. So I'm going